Hi folks, I'm Kevin Solway, who makes the occasional contribution to the Men of the Infinite channel.
Kevin Solway, after reviewing and going over as much information as I can find about you and on you, I've come to the conclusion that I think you're a pathological narcissist. I should also tell you that I'm going to be putting links to information I found on Kevin Solway and information about pathological narcissism and all my sources in the video information which will be attached to this video, so that you can go over this and review this for yourself and make your own conclusions. There's an important distinction between pathological narcissism and narcissistic characteristics that everybody will display at some point in their lives. Pathological narcissists are fundamentally unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. They are also unable to empathize and love other people properly and maturely. Both things, Kevin, you've displayed to me repeatedly. One of the reasons, Kevin, you're unable to distinguish fantasy from reality is, I'm going to cite you in this. The difference between philosophy and science is primarily that science can only offer tentative observations, whereas philosophy can provide absolute truths based on pure reasoning, independent of empirical uncertainties. Alright, the question of whether or not you can think is no longer in debate, think logically, is no longer under investigation. You can't. That's just one example that I've come across. When people provide you with evidence to the contrary, you have actually said, no, the data is wrong, the philosophy is correct. In so many words, I have screenshots of channel comments where you've dismissed it and explained it like that. So, most people who've argued with you have come to that conclusion on their own. But what I want to know is why you insist on saying that you know how to think logically, fostering the idea that you're a philosopher, and needing other people to recognize you as such, when that clearly is not the case. You know, I want to know what your thinking is behind why you need to be seen that way. The only explanation that I can possibly see, and I think one that works very well, is that you have a personality disorder called pathological narcissism. Two of the other people that associate with Men of the Infinite channel, out of the 4 people that I know of, have self-admitted that they have a personality disorder. One of them has a personality disorder that, in fact, you invented, Kevin. See if you can guess which one. You actually don't consider her to be part of the Men of the Infinite channel, even though she's your most devout follower. You may know who I'm talking about. That's Kelly Jones. You'll notice her following Kevin around on channel comments like a puppy dog, and he utterly refuses or barely acknowledges her. It's actually quite horrible. I've talked to you about this in private PMs, Kevin. If you want more conclusive evidence, I would suggest that you read Poison of the Heart, which is Kevin's unpublished manuscript. It's a whole new Bible, what you've written. It even has 10 commandments, but you don't call them the 10 commandments, you call them the 10 precious jewels, I think, or something like that. And I'll be providing links to Kevin's manuscripts, as well as, Kevin, your homepage, your biography. Very enlightening. Classic outline for the kind of thinking and circumstances that would produce a pathological narcissist. I have no official qualification to diagnose anybody, but even I can put 2 and 2 together. It was very interesting for me to come to the realization that even though you claim you're an atheist, you will actually, repeatedly, you use words like wisdom and truth, and you use these words in the same way a religious person uses the word faith. And in fact, you regard your truth and wisdom as a faith. even though you have been intensely fascinated, well, not you, obviously, your pathology was intensely fascinating. Watching your videos is like dental surgery. Christ, that was fucking painful. What I want to do is try to build a more conclusive mapping of the psychology of the religious individual. And what I found interesting about approaching it this way is because I never started out by looking at Kevin's pathology as though he was religious. I took him at face value, you know, when he claimed to be an atheist. So that's why I found his behavior so odd. Is because his speech patterns and his reasoning, he was acting like a fundamentalist religious individual, but yet he said he was an atheist. So you got me for a while. It took me a while to figure it out. Another thing about narcissists is that they are very bad communicators. You see, I can't really catch you out on a specific instance because you are notoriously ambiguous, which is why you're a slippery little fucker to pin down. So I had to look at your behavior and your patterns when you argue with people. Your thought processes, in a sense. I've noticed that whenever people try to get you to clarify your position or a certain point, I mean, you start off as being incredibly ambiguous in the video anyway in a lot of cases, or else you simply just don't explain yourself well, which is why people ask for clarification so much. But when they do, you'll actually become even more ambiguous to the point of being nonsensical. You'll actually change the meaning of words, and then when they point out to you that in fact that was destructive to you, to the point that you were trying to make, that why did you use this word when you meant this, and there was clearly another word that would have been better suited to put in that place and make your argument more clear, you will actually blame the communication breakdown on the English language. After reading some of your stuff from Poison of the Heart, I think I understand your worldview in a sense. I asked you that in a private PM. I demonstrated, I said, is this your understanding of the world and life? And you confirmed it for me, so thank you. I'll just read that out. The PM I sent to you was, I was reading your book. I think I understand what you're saying. I quote you, saying, life can never come into existence. There is just change here, and no matter how much you might like to have been born. Now I said, can I draw from that conclusion that you have never been born in the true sense of the word? Can I also draw the further conclusion that nobody has ever been born in the true sense of the word? Now your reply was, all things are without being, and we are no different. I quote something that you cited in your book, quote from Buddha saying, the greatest miracle is to know the truth and to make it known to others. And you, in your manuscript, say something along the lines of that you consider that to be the greatest miracle ever spoken by anybody. I ask you, am I to understand that the truth meant by Buddha is the truth you wrote in Poison of the Heart? Your reply was, as far as I understand the teaching of Buddha, I think they are the same as what I myself have realized and wrote in Poison of the Heart. There is only one truth. Alright, so let me just wrap this up for you guys. Kevin Solway is a non-born-again Kevinist. To be more precise, he is a never-been-born-in-the-first-place Kevinist.